Hi, I'm Mike, owner of the Groove in Phoenix, Arizona. Today I'm going to show you guys some of the records that I am bringing home and adding to my collection this week. This is the kind of stuff that has come into the store recently from collections, individual purchases, stuff I've bought on eBay. This is kind of a series of videos that I'm now doing. I enjoy making them. The first record I'm going to show you guys is the most important, greatest debut album of all time. There's never been one as good since the day this came out, and there never will be one of this caliber again. And you guys gotta know what I'm talking about here, right? That is, of course, Elvis Presley's self-titled album. My favorite artist of all time is Elvis Presley. I own this record 3 times now. All 3 copies are very high quality. This record is not only important, historical, all those things you already know, but for me, it represents so much. Growing up, first of all, we were dirt poor. The internet really hadn't taken hold yet. This was a record that was like a myth. You would go into a record store and they would talk about it. The Elvis self-titled debut, $1,000, $2,000 a clean copy of this record would go for. Never got to see one in person till 20 years later. It was just, growing up, it was something like, it was like something you fantasized about, like a Testarossa on your wall. It was that kind of thing for a record collector anyways. So when I get one of these coming to the store today, it's just, I will geek out over a record, or this record, more than people bring me. I had a guy bring me in a Hank Mobley sextet on Blue Note. $6,000 record to clean it. I'm like, oh, this is cool. Put it, clean it, do the thing, give it back. Record like this, I'm like, wow. So let me show you. This was a very, very clean copy. What's kind of cool about this is somebody, for some reason, put a date on it. So this record belonged to Elmer Gibson in California. It's dated, for some reason, March 30th, 1956. I don't know if the record store did that, being that Elmer decided to stamp this record. I kind of got the feeling maybe this was the date he purchased this record. Either way, look at this cover. Look at the condition this is in. This is not a record that survived in this shape. Very, very few of these records in this shape survive, because it was an unbelievably killer party rock and roll record. This record came with an RCA sleeve, and it had a label that was on the label itself that was removed. I don't know if you guys can see how nice this is, but this is, it's got fine lines on it, but it's really close to a near mint record. Probably like an EX, VG+++. Really close to near mint, but because of its age, I don't know if I'll ever see a truly near mint copy of this record. But it plays like a near mint record. And first thing I did was I ultrasonically cleaned it, brought it up front and played it. I was thrilled to have it. Unbelievable record from my favorite artist of all time. It's been quite a Elvis week too. Did you hear Prince Harry all trashing on Elvis, talking about his place being gaudy? And oh man, when I heard that, I was so incensed. I went to Graceland, and it was the most surreal experience of my entire life, just standing in that entryway, knowing that he died above me at his bathroom. His bathroom is right above the entryway. But going in, the jungle room, looking to the right, the piano, the dining room to the left, the kitchen, exactly how it was left, with the primitive security system. It was the most, you'll never, for me, and maybe other people are like this too, maybe some people couldn't care less, but standing there was no cooler place I've ever been in my entire life than a Graceland. It was truly awesome. From the home of not only the king of rock and roll, but an awesome human being. He was truly special. I'm so glad the movie came out and kind of revived his career. Elvis has not kept up with the likes of Zeppelin, Floyd, Sabbath, the Beatles. The movie has definitely sparked love for him. You know, I see it in the people that are buying his records now. But in that same collection, I won't say equally important record, but man, really close. And it's a record that I've never been able to get a clean first pressing of. I have a clean UK first copy of it, but I don't have a clean original. Chuck Berry's first LP, After School Session with Chuck Berry. Look at this. Oh man, on Chess. Cruddy vinyl, like all Chess records. Plays on the noisy side. But man, look at that. Black label, deep groove Chess. Very, very cool. Extremely historic. I was at White Castle the other day. Look up, they have a TV playing, and it was on mute. I couldn't hear what it was, but it was a documentary about the movie. I just, and then 3 days later, the record walks into the store. I was blown away. So, yeah, fantastic. All right. From the jazz collection a while back that I'm still going through, getting towards the tail end. This is still a Blue Note era record, but a later repress. This is probably 1960, 1961. This is Volume 1, Thelonious Monk. It has the original cover, which wouldn't have been gloss. Right, let me see here. Has a later reissue cover, actually, so it's not a Lexington Avenue. It's deep groove, has the registered trademark. So later pressing uses the exact same metalwork as the first pressing, and this is really, really clean. But it's not a Lexington Avenue, it's not a flat edge, it has the registered trademark, but still a Blue Note era record, and super clean. Look how nice this is. So I showed Volume 2 already. That came in the collection as well, and that was a Lexington Avenue. And from memory, I think that might have been a first pressing. Showed it on one of the first videos in this series that I did. But yeah, this both same collection, Volume 1, Volume 2. I've been trying, there's certain labels that are so iconic, and the old sports card collector in me wants to make a run of labels. I've been trying for Blue Note, Prestige, for years. This is another label I've been trying to make a run of. I think it is one of the most underappreciated records, labels in jazz, and that is Savoy. These things are so hard to find. Significantly rarer than Blue Notes. Most of these titles are. Significantly rarer than Blue Note. Recorded by Van Gelder. Killer albums on this label. Not to the degree of Prestige or Blue Note, but beautiful covers. Beautiful, recording by Van Gelder. He was recording for Savoy, Prestige, Blue Note at the time. Groovin' High with Dizzy Gillespie. Not one of the more valuable Savoys. There's very few of them are. There's a Lee Morgan. There's a couple to Hank Mobley. There's a couple titles that are high. But you got to think of the Lee Morgan title, the Hank Mobley title. If they were on Blue Note, they'd be $5,000, $6,000 records. On Savoy, there's sub-$1,000 records. Got a beautiful copy of Grandstand with Grant Green. This is a reissue. This is a Liberty pressing from '66, but it is very, very clean stereo, and it's still Van Gelder, Van Gelder mastering using the original metalwork. For years, I would say this was the best value in Blue Note jazz records, was records with the original Van Gelder metalwork for a lot less money than all the reissues at the time. People have gotten wise to that, and they're getting quite expensive. I'm seeing Liberty era Blue Notes now sell for hundreds and hundreds of dollars. Got from that same jazz collection the Ornette Coleman Trio at the Golden Circle in Stockholm. Volume 1 and Volume 2. Both of these, nice early, let me see. These are both first pressing, both first pressing Blue Notes. Press that Plastilite. Yeah, nice. I've got multiple copies of this, so I'm going to have to weed some of these out. Those extras will go on the website. But yeah. Actually, I had a copy of Volume 2 years ago that came in a collection that I opened. It was sealed, and it was a Liberty pressing. But I knew it wasn't original because it was in shrink. The original Blue Notes were not shrunk wrap, but the Liberties were. Okay, so in that big $100,000 collection that I've been working my way through really, really hard, there was a couple of upgrades. I've got a full run of Townes Van Zandt on Poppy and a full run of Townes Van Zandt on Tomato, but I got some nice Poppy upgrades. This, actually, no, not this one. Our Mother the Mountain, really nice, clean. VG Plus cover, but the vinyl, I believe on all these was near mint. Like, yeah, near mint for sure. Like most of this collection, it was unplayed. You know, when you're in the business and you're getting thousands of records given to you, very few of them you actually have time to listen to. Yeah, this is the one, Delta, nope. Okay, another upgrade copy. Delta Mama Blues, again, near mint copy. VG Plus cover. Really nice. I mean, doesn't have any ring wear, any damage, which would have been pretty common for that black cover. This one was kind of cool, though. High, low, and in between. This is actually stamped, not for sale, promotional use only. It's only stamped, not a white label or anything, but it's stamped. Really, really clean. You know, the cover's in really nice shape. But yeah, the dupes will also make their way to the website. It's crazy because I've had just a ton of Townes Van Zandt in the last 6-7 months that I put in the store and on the website. A fantastic record that is so hard to find now in clean shape. Very few of these things come in, and when they do, they're pretty whipped. Not a valuable record, not anybody's grail, but I love Jim Croce. Don't mess around with Jim. It's a great record. It's a fantastic record. This is a white label promo from that promo collection that I almost chucked across the room, but I caught it. But beautiful promo copy. Maybe this hasn't been played yet from that same promo collection. Okay, well, in that same jazz collection. Now this I actually have to do a little comparing once I'm done finishing this video. Either this copy or the copy that is on my shelf now is going to be going to the store and on the website. The Gil Evans Orchestra, Out of the Cool. Fantastic record. It was reissued on the that Verve reissue series. Oh man, beautiful. Beautiful condition. Van Gelder. First pressing. Beautiful copy. And actually in this collection, not only was there this awesome, spectacular copy of Out of the Cool, which by the way, the Verve version of it is killer as well. But yeah, Verve version of it is great as well. But he also had Into the Hot, which was the complimentary album that came out, you know, shortly afterwards. Out of the Cool and Into the Hot. Out of the Cool is a better album, but this is actually a really good album as well. Not as well received though as Out of the Cool. Again, a first pressing Van Gelder cut stereo. Some paper scuffing, but really good shape. That whole jazz collection was in fantastic shape. I have both of these records, but when I get these key titles in, I always like to listen to them and compare. And if I like one versus the other, I will keep the better copy, sell off the extras. A lot of the stuff that comes to my house, almost all of it, I have. People say, Mike, you take all the good stuff home. I take all the good stuff home, but it all comes back. It's just a lot of times it's my lesser copy, but my lesser copy is still, you know, really, really high quality, high grade, because if it's not VG Plus, I don't take it home anyways. I don't care if it is the best. There's very few records. There's a couple of records that have been on my want list for a long time. The Shags, for instance, I know, but it's been on my want list for a long time. If I got a VG copy of that, a G Plus copy of that, something like that, I'd take home. Fill a hole because I'm probably never going to see another one. But I never take things home really unless they're VG Plus minimum. Beautiful copy of Oliver Nelson's Blues in the Abstract Truth. This is, again, another title that was done by the Verve series. Fantastic. The Impulse label, what an amazing record label. And it was, for so many years, these records were so inexpensive. There was nothing on the Impulse label a few years back that was over $100. Love Supreme was on the higher side. A couple of the Coltrane titles and a couple of, actually both Coltrane titles, Alice and John. Those titles were on the higher end, you know what I mean? But until 5 years ago, you could pretty much have everything in the label for $100 or less. That is not the case anymore. People are getting wise to it. Fantastic stuff on the label. And the new Verve series is really going a long way in bringing that music to people. Okay. The last one is a heater. But before that, another title that is just a great... I love Tommy James and the Shondells. He's actually coming to Phoenix here this coming up weekend. I'm probably going to see that. I plan on seeing that. I'm going to have to talk to Angel. But his 60s output, they had such great tunes on it. This is obviously titled Crimson and Clover, and it had Crimson and Clover on it. But they were really played pretty hard, so they're never really in this shape. There's a beautiful copy in the shrink. I don't have, because I don't bring home copies that aren't VG, this was a record that I don't own, because most of the records that I would have gotten in the store in the past 10 years would have been VG copies. That's pretty common with this record. So, yeah. Beautiful record. Actually, there was a whole run of Tommy James and the Shondells. I just picked out Crimson and Clover to show you. This last record, I got pretty much an entire label run from that collection, and that label was Love Records. Hard and Horny, Wigwam. Second pressing, still very, very desirable. Came out about a year later. This is an unbelievable prog record out of Finland. I'm not really a huge prog fan. I do like some of it. I mean, but I'm not a deep into the woods prog guy, you know? And then some of the stuff that people feel that I just absolutely should love, I don't. I'm not a huge Genesis fan. I like the first couple of Yes albums. I don't like, and then I like I'm having a brain fart here with the Buggles guy. I like that era. I like that Phil Collins, Abacab, Don't Tell Nobody era. But the stuff that everybody's like, oh, not my thing. This, though, is just such a fantastic prog record. I love the organ on this thing, and I love the way it kind of intertwines with the guitar. It's a great record. Very desirable, very collectible as well. But yeah, Wigwam, Hot and Horny. So this is everything that I'm putting into my collection. Well, there's a lot more, but this is what I'm showing you that I'm putting into my collection this week. All right, guys, check us out online at www.theingroove.com. Until next time.